That's better. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to all joining us in person and those joining us from their homes. It is wonderful to be together on this evening. We are going to begin with a song of welcome. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. Blessed, blessed will you be. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you enter in. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you choose to go. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be in the here and now. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be forevermore. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem, Shalom. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you enter in. Blessed, 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 blessed will you be when you choose to go. Blessed, 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 blessed where you live and where you love. Blessed, 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 blessed where you learn and where you pray. Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha, Baruch atah b'voecha, Baruch atah b'tzeitecha.
We'd like to invite up Brody Sudbeck and the Sudbeck family to come and light and bless our Shabbat candles.
We're going to light them first.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shal Shabbat.
Amen. Mazel tov.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, guys.
There is so much to think about as we enter this space for Shabbat. We can think about the joy of coming together as family and community to celebrate as a young person becomes bar mitzvah and is called to the Torah tomorrow morning. There is the fact that we are now in the Hebrew month of Shevat, which has a birthday of the trees in just 10 days. And we are beginning to have a few growing things. We are beginning to have longer days and changing seasons. And even if the weather's going to be really, really cold next week, we still have longer days. And this week's Torah portion, Bo, where we begin to prepare for freedom and for liberation and for leaving Egypt. I'm going to invite everyone to get themselves situated and comfortable, perhaps sitting up straight, perhaps uncrossing your legs, uncrossing your arms, perhaps even closing your eyes, Whatever makes you comfortable is what you should do. I'm about to invite you to take 3 deep breaths. And the number 3 is the number of intention. And I'm inviting you to set your intention for this Shabbat, for these next 25 hours. It could be that your intention is to celebrate with family and with friends as we see Brody called to the Torah tomorrow as a bar mitzvah. Could be that you are here this evening in person or on Zoom because you are ready to put down some burdens, if only for Shabbat. Could be that you are here to take up the holiness of Shabbat and encounter the holiness that is possible in this moment of time. But take 3 deep breaths and do that now.
לך דרכי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דרכי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דרכי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם ניסוחה, סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We read together. And so we understand that holy, ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too yourself may be a messenger. perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
All those who are comfortable in doing so, please rise as we continue with the Baruch Hu.
Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. Barechu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, le'olam va'ed. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai.
Please remain standing and read together with me if you would like. I'll let you in on a secret about how one should pray the sunset prayer. It's a juicy bit of praying like strolling on grass. Nobody's chasing you, nobody hurries you. You walk toward your Creator with gifts in pure, empty hands. The words are golden, their meaning is transparent. It's as though you're saying them for the first time. If you don't catch on that you should feel a little elevated, you're not praying the sunset prayer. The tune is sheer simplicity. You're just lending a helping hand to the sinking day. It's a heavy responsibility. You take a created day and you slip it into the archive of life, where all our lived out days are lying together. The day is departing with a quiet kiss. It lies open at your feet while you stand saying blessings. You can't create anything yourself, but you can lead the day to its end and see clearly the smile of its going down. See how whole it all is, not diminished for a second, how you age with the days that keep dawning, how you bring your lived out day as a gift to eternity.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We are Israel, witness to God's covenant. We are Israel, forbidden to worship power. We are Israel, prophets of a vision for all. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. We are Israel, trying to beat swords into plowshares. We are Israel, teaching sacred words from Torah. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice flow as a mighty stream. We are Israel, proclaiming your truth, as we did on the shores of the sea.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע לפני משה, משה ומרים זלי, ענו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. מי my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Rock me in your arms and guide my steps.
We continue responsively the words in the regular print, and you respond in the words in the italic. The dreams of prayer are made real by those who pray.
The ways of God are deep as love.
And the strength of God is mighty as time, which flows and has not end.
Part of all, yet separate, is the eternal God. Separate and apart is God.
God is holy, God's name is holy, and this Sabbath day is holy, for it is set apart from other days.
To remember God, to return to God, to bring God back with us into the week.
We praise God as we hallow the seventh day. We invite you now, as you are comfortable in doing so, to please rise for the Amidah, the standing prayer.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agid hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot, U'mevig Geulah Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer U'Moshio Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiva Ruach Morida Gashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Umidam Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman ata lachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We take a moment now to say prayers on behalf of those who are in need of healing, healing of body, healing of spirit. And we keep in mind those who are listed on the slide, but there will be space for you to add names of those that you are praying for personally. In the Zoom, if you'll please put their names into the chat, and you'll have a chance in the sanctuary as well. We are keeping in mind for healing Susan Alexander, Susie Anderson, Hal Arnold, Virginia Becker, Tony Baraldi, Jean Brosco, Lisa Brunkhorst, Hildardo Carrera, Sandy Christofferson, Kevin Cooper, Jen Dawson, Ariana Elness, Rabbi Sim Glazer, Jody Goldstein, Robbie Huskovic, Judy Kyman, Karen Levin, Mike Liddy, Mario Lopez, Gary Marshall, Brandy Matson, Emily McWhirter, Carmen Munn, Brian Nog, Pedro Comio Limpio, Nadine Ostro, Karen Euler, Wendy Passer, Gail Peterson, Jamie Poole, Linda Redler, Steve Redler, Samuel Rosinski, Emily Sachs, George Sachs, Gregory Sachs, Steve Seglin, Joan Shapiro, Linda J. Sherman, Dee Dee Spiegel, Sarah Jane Tietzel, Laura J. West, Barb Wigg, Brent Wine, and Kate Ewell. there are people you are keeping in mind for healing, I invite you to say their names out loud now. We are keeping in mind for healing Sheldon, Bob and Dor, Tuck, Jerry Joy, Claire Agar, Lloyd Agar, Ted Agar, David Irvine, Connie D. Singh, Dan Montez. For all those that we've named and all those that we keep close in our hearts, we say this prayer asking for God's healing blessings.
Mi sheberach avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Mi sheberach avotenu, Mi sheberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Shabbat Shalom. Our Torah portion this week covers the final 3 plagues: locust, darkness, and death of the firstborn, along with the Passover story, what the Israelites should do to avoid the final plague, how they should continue celebrating at this time of year in perpetuity. So we are both in January and also April simultaneously. As we learn about plagues and God's hardening Pharaoh's heart, the performing acts of wonder and to display my signs among them, as God says, we brush against some very difficult theology. Our rabbis have always been challenged by the conflict between free will and the hardening of Pharaoh's heart. So too have our rabbis been challenged by the killing of the Egyptians' firstborn and the soldiers pursuing the Israelites as the Sea of Reeds closes over them. In Midrashim, our rabbis depict the angels about to break into song when God silences them, declaring, "How dare you sing for joy when my creatures are dying?" There is a conflict between these acts of wonder God's show of power in freeing the Israelites from slavery, and the theology we inherit from the rabbis on God's goodness and the care of all humanity's divine nature. Rabbi Shai Held asks what the plagues tell us about the nature of the world. Is it comforting or terrifying to believe the world responds to our sins or our blessings? I ask, what about their sins and my blessings? Or the sins of those folk over there and the good works of those folk over here? How could something as indiscriminate as a hurricane, a pandemic, or a famine be caused by the sins of some, while good people are also paying an equal and sometimes harder price? And while we're talking about theology, I find it hard to swallow. Who gets to decide which activities are sinful ones and which are the blessed ones? Our Torah sets out many clear actions and behaviors to do and not do. But over the centuries, Jews have invariably argued about how to actually follow those behaviors. And certainly as a Reform community, we have embraced a humanity first with independent meaning making as a prime concern over and above simple mitzvot language of the Torah or the Talmud. If we Jews cannot agree among ourselves on what constitutes proper behavior, all the more so when we add the complexity of a multi-faith world out there. One group might declare that a hurricane hit because of the sins of being too free around sex and gender, while another group might declare it is a book banning around race and gender that is the problem. Still another group might declare it is the permission of abortion, while their counter group argues it is the enslavement of women by restricting access to full reproductive services. One group argues it is the degradation of the planet through the eating of meat or the use of chemical fertilizers and insecticide. Another group knows that is the only way we will feed 8 billion people currently living on this planet. And the oil and gas we extract might be an extravagance in our gas-guzzling cars, but what about the global shipping of goods such as foods and medicines across the country and around the world? What of the destruction of natural habitats and degradation of water sources to take the minerals out of the earth necessary for the communication systems we hold in our pockets every day? Which of these sins are you not guilty of? Which of these are the cause of modern plagues? Which of these are the plague themselves, and not just the wayward, short-sighted actions that I'm just as guilty of partaking in and benefiting from? Is it the sin of taking opioids that leads to an opioid drug crisis? Is it the sin of the greed of the doctors that prescribed it and the manufacturers whose profits soared? Or is it the sin of society disengaging from human need for companionship and community? Perhaps these two sins are also the chicken and the egg, neither coming first but inexorably linked in the modern world we have created. How can we even distinguish the plague of darkness from that of locust in a world with more than enough food for all of humanity, but one where our garbage cans and landfills are replete with edible nourishment, wasted calories, sacrificed energy, labor, and land, while our impoverished neighbors and impoverished countries starve? Between Pharaoh and God was a power struggle. Who is the real God? But at its core is a question of humanity. Who is human, worthy of dignity and respect, worthy of freedom, but also of guidelines to rule for a proper way of life? When God exerts power over the Egyptian people, there is surely suffering, though God often warns them what will happen first. But God does not enslave the Egyptians in return for enslaving the Israelites, but manumits the Israelites as they move on, leaving Pharaoh to rule with the devices he will. Each year at Passover, we reenact this power struggle. We remind ourselves of the vulnerability of our humanity by reenacting our slavery and hardship. But we also remind ourselves of the need for seeking humanity all around us, of understanding the modern day slavery and modern day plagues surrounding us everywhere we look. We can blame people we disagree with for the problems of the world, often denying them their humanity and independent reasoning while we do so, or we can own our part in the degradation of humanity and earth. How have I been a slave in Egypt, and how are my actions now enslaving others today? How can I find the divine spark in the humans whose hands have brought forth the bread I eat, the technology I use, the clothing I wear, and every other item in my house, but whose eyes I have never seen, whose children I have never imagined, whose life I know nothing about? How can we find compassion amidst the plagues of our world today? So many things to fear, so much danger, destruction, and desperation separating us from our own humanity and from the one thing which might help us the most: meaningful community and relationships with each other. How can we overcome these divisions, these destructive tendencies? All the ways in which the plagues and the sins intertwine into the reality of life. We must turn towards each other, seek the humanity in ourselves and in one another, show up for our community, even if it feels they have not shown up for us lately. We must find a prayer practice, a gratitude practice, a relationship practice to keep us connected to the core goodness worthy of our attention. We may all disagree on which sins cause which plagues in our modern world, but I contend we will go on having hurricanes, pandemics, and drought. But we needn't go on raising arms against our neighbors, starving others' children, and denigrating the earth until it stops producing for humanity. These human sins and human plagues can be ended with listening, love, understanding, disagreement without dehumanization, and an embedded embrace of humanity's divinity and worthiness. Perhaps in a world where this is cultivated, we can lift each other up after the plagues have passed and know that we are loved and cared for by our neighbors. We are truly in it together, seeking solutions that will raise all ships on the tide, and knowing that our fates are inextricably linked. While the death of the firstborn passed over the Israelites, the plague of frogs and the Nile blood affected all. Humanity's power struggles and denigrations lessen us all and disconnect us from our own sense of humanity, God, and each other. This song, Uvachein, is my prayer for us as we contemplate our modern plagues, our divisions, our own sins, and strive to find comfort in a scary world and recommit to community and to humanity. Uvachein, uvachein, and then, when wholeness and peace are restored. Uvachein, uvachein, and then, remembering what all life is for. In awe and afraid, taking stock of our days, healed by forgiveness and love. We pray a time will come as we return to the one, that we can become truly one. Uvachein, uvachein, and then, is for. When reverence for life is the prayer that unites all people in one family, remembering our light, a spark of the divine in ourselves and in all living beings. Then and then, just the sound of it gives wings to hope, lays fear to rest, to feel the open wings of possibility. And then, imagine. Uvechein, uvechein, and then, when wholeness and peace are restored. Uvechein, uvechein, and then, remembering what all life is for.
Today was International Holocaust Remembrance Day, established by the United Nations to coincide with the liberation of Auschwitz. This poem is by Alden Solovey. After the horror, hold fast to the breath of life, hold fast to the song of life, hold fast to the soul of life. This is my sacred duty, God of old, as survivor, as witness, as a voice of history and truth. Why else did I live when so many died? Why else do I stand when so many were put to rest? Why else do I hope and yearn when so many were silenced? Hold fast to awe and wonder, hold fast to radiance and light, hold fast to mystery and majesty. This is my sacred duty, God of old, as mourner, as testimony to horror and destruction. What else remains? What else endures? What more can you ask of me but to choose life in the shadow of death?
We turn our thoughts to those our community has lost. If you have a person that you are remembering, when you hear their name, I will invite you to rise. If you would like to add a name after those on the screen have been read, there will be the opportunity to do so in this room and also on Zoom. We are in the Shiva, the first week of mourning, for Sandra Rosenberg. We are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning, for Sally Preisman Telpner, Lauren Dexter Deal, and Adam Skog. We are remembering the anniversary of the death of Peter Appel, Jeanette K. Ban, J. L. Brandeis, M. David Brodkey, Dorothy Ellen Seekin, Jill K. Combs, Sophie Epstein, Alfred A. Fiddler, Julia Fox, Leon S. Frankel, Manny Goldberg, Lillian Horowitz, Louis Joseph Cole, Herman Mickey Krapinski, Manuel Mickey Krapinski, Mary Tattle Cubby, Harry S. Lewis, Corrine N. Livingston, Moses Seth Lagasa, Ruth G. Malashak, Charles A. Manassi, Ignaz Moskowitz, Millie Needleman, Carolyn Cully Newman, Sarah I. Nog, Walter Aaron Rosenberg, Michael A. Rosinski, Herman Chaim Rubin, Julius Samuel Schiff, Millard Selden, Stephen H. Simon, Leah Cyrif, Rosaline Somberg, Carl Horst Sussman, Cora S. Wolf, Anna H. Zach, and Betty Zuber. If there are any names that you would like to add, I invite you to do so as my eyes meet yours. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There's one name in the chat, Jared Dodson.
Thank you. I invite us to rise as a community as we hold in our hearts our friends and community members who are suffering from loss, and as we remember those who perished in the Holocaust on this day of International Holocaust Remembrance. We join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehesh shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam olmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, Yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'miran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all the world, to which we say,
Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. I would like to thank our musicians this evening, Darcy Gammerl on oboe, David Downing on cello, and Julie Sandine, our accompanist on piano.
And I just interrupting, sorry.
Go for it.
Thank you for being here. We have a donor who has allowed us to bring you, or one of you if you're available, once a month for services. So I'm very excited that this kicks off a new musical mode of having instrumentalists along with our amazing piano player once a month. It's not going to be a specific week of the month, but we should have more music added, and I thank our donor for allowing that to be the case.
I would like to thank our ONIG volunteers, Alana, Francisco, and Logan. Thank you for your help with the ONIG tonight. And thank you to the Sudbeck family who are sponsoring the ONIG this evening in honor of Brody becoming bar mitzvah tomorrow morning as he is called to the Torah. Thank you to our Zoom maven, Karen Euler. Thank you to Mindy Marburg for doing tech, and to Scott Anderson for all the work that happens in the back of the house. Tu B'Shvat is next weekend. RSVPs close this weekend. We've planned a multi-generational Seder for Sunday, February 5th at 11:15 a.m. We have 2 new adult education opportunities. Rabbi Azrael will be teaching about familial responsibilities this Sunday at 10:15 a.m. And I'm going to be teaching online only about the Book of Legends on January 31st. That's this Tuesday. That's at 7 p.m. Save the date for Purim. Help us solve a mystery as we present a Purim-themed Whodunit Shabbat. Enjoy a meal and Shabbat music throughout the evening as we delve deep into the ending for Haman and discover the identity of the masked hangman. Was it Queen Esther? Was it the king's butler? Was it Haman's 11th son? There's only one way to find out who done it. RSVPs to attend will be opening soon. And we are looking for people to help. If you are interested in being a participant/actor in our murder mystery, please reach out to Mindy Marburg. Jurassic Purim, which will be our spiel, the raffle, and the carnival will take place on Sunday, March 5th. And don't forget to purchase your Mishloach Manot. And because today was International Holocaust Remembrance Day, I'd like to highlight special concerts that are coming up the first week of May, May 3rd and May 4th. We are going to have Maestro Lotoro from Italy, who's going to be here to present on music of the Holocaust. Both concerts should be very interesting, and the concert on Thursday, May 4th, will also include the Omaha Symphony Orchestra and will occur right in this sanctuary. So it should be an amazing evening. I'd like to invite Brody Sudbeck up to come and help us do Kiddush and Motzi.
Brody, come stand at the microphone here. Rabbi?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pari hagafem.
Amen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodesh b'ahava uvratzon hinhilanu zikaron lama'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom tehila lamikra'e kodesh zeher litziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'harta v'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshacha b'ahava uvratzon hinhaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh ha'shabbat.
Amen.
Stay up here. Have a seat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz v'te'avon. Feel free to have a piece of bread. Mazel tov.
Do you want to take some for your siblings?
Oh, so generous.
There you go.
We look forward to celebrating with you tomorrow morning at 10:30 at Shabbat morning services. Brody will lead us in services and read from the Torah and teach us some beautiful lessons as he becomes bar mitzvah. Our closing song tonight is Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We must build this world from love together. There are many challenges in this world, many things to be fearful of, but if we can be together and if we can find love in our hearts, we will be able to make it through. Chesed yibaneh, yadadai, 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 chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai.
Shabbat Shalom.